Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about a leadership question that is becoming more important in business every year. What happens when profit starts to matter more than conscience? In leadership, this is one of the hardest ethical tests. Most leaders want growth. They want strong numbers, market share, innovation, and success. Those goals are not bad in themselves. In fact, organizations need profit to survive, pay employees, serve customers, and invest in the future. But ethical problems begin when leaders start asking only, "Can we do this?" instead of also asking, "Should we do this?" That is where conscience comes in. A leader with conscience understands that decisions do not affect only the bottom line. They affect employees, customers, communities, and the long-term credibility of the organization. Ethical leadership means recognizing that just because something is legal, efficient, or profitable does not automatically make it right. A very current example of this issue can be seen in the rapid growth of artificial intelligence. Many companies are racing to develop and deploy AI tools because the financial incentives are huge. AI can cut costs, increase productivity, improve targeting, speed up decision-making, and create competitive advantage. From a profit standpoint, it is easy to understand why leaders are moving quickly. But the ethical concerns are serious. AI systems can reinforce bias, make harmful decisions at scale, reduce transparency, and affect people's privacy, employment, access to services, and even dignity. Reuters reported in February 2026 that accountability in the tech sector is lagging, and the World Benchmarking Alliance found that while some companies publish ethical AI principles, none of the 200 major companies assessed disclosed comprehensive human rights impact assessment results for their AI systems. Only 38% even published ethical AI principles at all. That should get our attention. Why? Because it suggests that many leaders are moving faster on innovation and monetization than they are on responsibility and transparency. In other words, the technology may be advancing faster than the conscience behind it. This is not just a tech problem, it is a leadership problem. When leaders put profit above conscience, they often justify it in familiar ways. We have to keep up with competitors. We'll deal with the risks later. If it increases efficiency, it must be worth it. Someone else will do it if we don't. But ethical leadership requires more than speed and ambition. It requires restraint, reflection, and courage. Sometimes the most ethical decision is not the fastest one. Sometimes the best leadership choice is to slow down, ask harder questions, and put safeguards in place before harm occurs. Sometimes leadership means being willing to lose a little in the short term in order to protect people and preserve trust in the long term. That is the real test of character. A leader who chooses conscience over unchecked profit is not weak. That leader is strong enough to recognize that reputation, trust, and integrity are strategic assets. Once those are damaged, they are very hard to rebuild. So what should ethical leaders do? First, they should ask who may be harmed by a decision, not just who benefits from it. Second, they should be transparent. If a company claims to care about ethics, fairness, and responsibility, then those values should show up in policy, reporting, oversight, and accountability. Third, they should create systems that challenge decisions, not just approve them. Ethical leadership is not about surrounding yourself with yes people. It is about building a culture where concerns can be raised early. And fourth, leaders must remember that how they achieve success matters just as much as whether they achieve it. Anyone can chase numbers. Real leaders ask whether those numbers were earned in a way they can defend with honesty and integrity. As future managers, business owners, and organizational leaders, you will face moments when the profitable choice and the ethical choice do not perfectly align. In those moments, your values will matter. Your leadership will be measured not only by what you build, but by what you are willing to protect. Because in the end, profit may keep an organization running, but conscience is what keeps leadership worth following. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I have a quick question to ask you to think about. When organizations move quickly toward profit, innovation, or growth, what responsibility do leaders have to slow down and examine the human cost?